This is a H228, serial number 800 something or another. So I think that puts it about 78, something like that. I'm going on memory. Anyways, it's one of the first reissues of the H228. 1973, 1974, I think. Before that, Martin didn't have any scallop brace guitars. Now, when they reintroduced this one, they didn't scallop it like they would do today. They cut the braces in a very cookie cutter shape. So they start about an inch and a half away from the X with the X's cross. They go about that far, and then they go into this sharp scallop like this. Big old curve. That causes a stress riser right here. And the belly can really belly up on some of this one looks great. This is, I've seen some that just absolutely belly up like nuts. This one looks unbelievably good condition for the age that it is. I mean, there's hardly a scratch on this thing. However, the bridge is in the wrong place. It's about 1/8 of an inch off. And then normally I would scoot the bridge back. Sometimes I'll take a saddle and move the saddle back over to the pins. But in this case, I didn't want to do that. This original bridge, I didn't want to mess it up. So what I did on this guitar is something I haven't really done a lot of before. And that is I put a shim right here. I had to do a neck reset anyways, right? So I put a shim in right here. And what that did was push the neck back 1/8 of an inch. If you've got a really super sharp eye, you can see that the fingerboard right here is back just a hair from where it normally would be, but it is such a small thing. You're going to have to really be pressed to see that. So what this did was push the neck back that way, about 1/8 of an inch, and that made the intonation correct. It was a minor adjustment in this case, and so I didn't have to mess with the bridge, I didn't have to mess with the saddle slot, I didn't have to mess with anything over here. I did it all right here, and since I had to do a neck reset anyways, it seemed like a pretty good idea. I built the neck set into the shims, basically. So that was kind of cool. I got 2 birds for 1 stone, and the intonation is pretty good. Let's listen. Sounds like it's in tune. When they're out of tune, they're kind of rough. So, okay, so that's what I did to it. Like I was talking about on the X braces, the stock ones can cause a stress riser right here. Oddly enough, scalloping the braces more can reduce that stress riser. So what you do, or what I do, is I scallop it in that little area right there where Martin didn't scallop it all the way, and go ahead and smooth out the curve a little bit more. Instead of going like this, and then here's to the X, you take it and you just shave this part away so that the whole thing is a nice smooth curve. When you do that, it lets the whole thing rise. And it also gives you the more pre-war sound, because the pre-war scalloping went all the way to the X like that too. I've done that to a couple that had belly problems, and it significantly didn't reduce the belly, but it smoothed it out over the whole top. So instead of having a bump back here, you had a nice smooth rise over the entire top. So this guitar, the owner had already put Waverly's on it. I polished up the eyelets a little bit better, polished up the headstock. I did a bone nut on it. I did 7 frets because I was doing a new nut. It seemed logical to me to go ahead and put some new frets in there just to make sure everything was fine. By the time I got up to the 7th, there was no wear on the frets, and so I just left them alone after that. And then I raveled everything, of course. Neck relief is almost none. It's a nice little flat neck here. Yeah, perfect. I did a neck reset. And that's about it. Just a few minor things. I think I did a popsicle brace on it. I'll have to look inside. I did a pick guard. The stock pick guard was doing pretty good, but the black pick guards, of course, shrink. When they shrink, they cause cracks. This one had a very small crack happening right here. As soon as I took the pick guard off and relieved the pressure, everything was fine. So, well, here it is. It's going to go home. Monday. I'm Pat Hammer. Good bluegrass guitar. It's loud. A lot of volume. Good tone, good bass. It's nice. HD28. Check out the hat. A friend of mine gave that to me. Cool.